Hey, you just come home. You just got out of school. Good. That's way. And your sister's name is Rachel. What grade is she in? Ninth grade already? Oh yeah, there's good old Uncle Ken. We'll step out here. Okay, we'll walk on up in there. Carol's car, Ron Carol's. Manny's gonna lead me up here. Show me a lot of oranges on this here. Okay. Ken mentioned the church Sunday about the trees starting to bloom, and boy, he was right. Little popcorn starting to come out. I'll show you another tree. Okay, we're here at the back of Ken Orange's place. There's a tree that he's already picked. And he's got some new fruit on it. Okay, look at here. Look at that little... Yeah, they're looking at the oranges coming. Where? Oh, it smells. We're going to look up here and see if we find a bee. Oh, pardon me, Mandy. Oh, it took off. We'll see. Okay, there's a bee down. Oh, it took off again. There's one right there. Yeah, got it. See the bee there? They're smelling, too. And this is only February the 9th. About bees, what you learn about? Did you learn anything?
Tell them about that, what you saw, told me you saw.
We looked at bees in the encyclopedia and we saw...
Look at Wayne.
We saw a picture of the stinger.
You saw a picture of the stinger?
Stinger.
Well, you don't want to get the stinger, do you? No. Okay, we walked into Ken's here. This is looking into their kitchen. Over here is Mr. and Mrs. Laufey.
Why don't you come in and sit down?
Mr. and Mrs. Fletter.
Yeah, Mr. Van, we'll have to go back and see where Mr. Fletter stayed.
Wayne,
Huh?
you mean you better not.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
Not this.
No? Mark says no? Okay.
Oh, you got a bunch of them in his trunk.
Now, who was it?
Edward Bailey.
We got one
Oh,
or 2
Edward.
years ago when he first gave Matt the one for the...
Did you ever see a video,
Had that on
Ken?
our refrigerator long.
I've seen them, yeah. But
Is this okay that I've taken a few in your trailer?
Yeah, but none that talk.
None of them talk?
None of them talk.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
Well,
And
hi, Wayne.
who's this nice young lady here? Man, we just...
Do you have enough light?
Yeah, we just heard her husband. We just put the tape in, and we're really enjoying it. We just started hearing the first song as we come in.
Ken got him the tape.
That'll make you.
Okay, this is looking the opposite. We're looking back towards the kitchen. There's Marge. Here's Ken's, one of his favorite chairs, I suppose, sitting in there. How about it, Ken?
It's one of them.
One up.
There's his favorite one over there.
Okay, there.
I think we got that new.
Okay, we got one, and I'll tell you, I park in it a lot.
Yeah.
Ours isn't the lazy boy, but
Well,
he gets
them
the good one.
flowers up there pretty.
Mandy, I'll...
Got
She's
this
going out to get one.
Is she gonna get one?
kitchen.
Does that take pretty good inside, Wayne?
Well, maybe we'll show you. And there's their bedroom. Look at that beautiful, beautiful cover. Oh man, well, we can tap right in your. Yeah, here's Carol. Carol still is pretty. She's always
Oh.
pretty. She isn't aging a bit.
Yes,
Not one bit. Where'd
Mandy
Mandy
went out
go?
to get a pencil.
Okay, she went out to get a pencil.
One in the garage.
See, they even got a
She's
big,
getting one out of Dan.
even got a big pelican in here. Here comes
Rich
Mandy.
and Jerry,
Rich
that
made
pelican.
take that pelican and they painted
Now I want to get you so you'll see how it will look on fairly close. That's
Wow.
Marge. That's a sister to Bob. Bob's up there. And Carol right here. What's Ron doing today, Carol?
Oh, working, selling insurance
Selling.
in Tampa.
So he has leads and then he goes out.
Yeah.
But he doesn't go out without leads, or does he go to the
No,
door or not?
usually he has a lead.
Okay. Where's Pop at? Oh, he's right
sitting
here.
right here.
Oh man, he's a good-looking guy.
Is he? You think so?
Yeah, still young. Yeah.
No,
Okay,
she
Mandy.
her name's on.
You seen the Honey Queen at your class? Okay, Dorothy and
And
I.
what school do you go to, Mandy?
The Falls Beach Elementary.
Okay, what did she give you to put on your lunch pail?
Honey.
She gave you a sticker?
Packages that I got back in, they come in late. Fortunately, we had a good year, and the packages here should run between 100 and 120 pound average. Today is, well, I guess it's on there. Today's 7/29/04. So I'll take a few here before we get started, and then as we load some on the truck, and then I'll show some of them.
Okay, Pascalis, we got the honey all off of the hives. These were packages. They're all out here in front on skids. Now we're going to pick them up and put them on with the loader. Saves all that work. And most of them's full. If you can see here, you can kind of observe that. Pascalis, here we're taking the honey out. It's all setting out, ready to load with the loader. And there's foundation. We've stuck foundation down below, about 2 bodies down from the top, so the bees will get right on it. You can see what a great job they did. Okay, Corey, this is Corey, one of the helpers. Put it back in, and we'll put some here on the truck. You come here. As I go up to the truck, you turn it that way. You can see here. Stick on at the bottom, that can come off. Droplets will hold it on. Turn her off. Okay, the honey's all on the truck. That skid's the empties, push forward, tied down. We're gonna go eat dinner, and then we'll head for 2 more yards. These, like I say, were packages, and they run very good. I would say probably 100 to 140 pounds, depending on the maybe some drifting, but not too much in here. So these are all young queens for next year. There's a few of them there. You can see it's got the 3rd body on. We put an excluder under. Had brood. We'll snap that off later when the brood's all gone. And a partial frame of honey. Started out in the bottom body. And the nukes were brought in here and then transferred into a deep body, and they've done very good. You can see for 3 frames of brood, they're probably going to run 120, some of them 140 pounds. Very good crop. This is all waste out in here. It's under the commodity credit. Farmer gets paid $50, $60 to leave it. And there was a lot of LSAC out in here. Okay, these here were 3 comb splits. And that hide there made that body a foundation. And also a couple shallows, 45 pounds a piece is 90, and 90 and 60 is 150. Not bad for 3 pound for 3 frames of brood. Okay, and this is Corey, one of the helpers. Kind of a wild one. He'll make it. Corey is showing you hive tools that we had a piece of pipe welded on. See, it's a standard hive tool. That, and now put it in, and you see it helps your hand. Yeah, that's it. That helps jam the fastening between the hive bodies. That's good. All right, that's a little tip. Somebody over there might want to capitalize on that. This is 24 splits, like I said just earlier, made up of 3 frames and a partial frame of honey. And now we've got the honey off. Now the fun, it's not work really. We set it up on the truck with the boom. You see some bodies there with red dots. That's another young man's bodies, supers, and I'm paying him rent, so we put a spot on his so we know and get his back. You also notice the darker bodies, the brood nest. Those are bodies that was refurbished. If there was any breaks in the end, we fixed them up, and then we dipped them in hot 275, not over 280, in paraffin and rosin, and we dipped them in. Dipped them in once for 1 minute, and then took it out, put another one in for a minute, set the body over on the drain pan, then took the original one and put it in there for about 4 seconds for the second coat, which was bonding on the first coat because it was still warm. Okay, we'll load these on now. Put the skids towards the front with the dolly, and here you see a frame of foundation. What we've done, earlier we begoed we took the top supers off. They were that during the initial part of the flow, and then we put the foundation down. Bees will sooner draw it than setting their drawing foundation up on top. There you can see the cradle, and we use the loader. Put that up, and we use that, so we grab, put her on. There, the supers are on skids, and Corey will slide them on up the head. So now we got these supers here. We'll have this little yard. It's only 24, and they were splits. And then there's a few head brood. You can see we begoed them down to make sure we got the queen out, and then put the queen exploder, and we'll snap them off later. Stay over there.
Huh?
Stay over there. Okay, the honey's all on the truck, and it's secured. The extra pellets trays at the back. And you can see some of them's got some bees in them. Brood nests are very heavy because of the foundation, and that was cut out yesterday, so it makes it nicer loading out. Truck's a little over half full. We'll go get another yard yet and call it a day. And you can see these were all, the bottoms were pretty well all pre-dipped this spring. So they got young queens in. Okay, Pasalis, we're out here in the yard. We're just finished taking it off. We're gonna load it now. Now, I'll show you on our disease control. You see on that hide, you'll see a number 1. Well, that's from a piece of masking tape. We just tear off. Now then, that had supers right on up, maybe about 4 or 5 shallows. So I put 1, 1, 1, 1 right up. So next time we'll 2, 2, 2 right on up until we do the whole yard. So if there's 30 some hives in this yard, we'll end up with 30, 30, 30. And then as we take them off and get down to the brood chamber, we will then inspect it. If by chance we hit disease, we know right where the supers are, and we get them out and put them right back on. We had 2 yards lately where just luckily I did this, and we saved 2 cases of diseased honey going into the plant and extracting and get it scattered. So this is probably the easiest way to control bacillus larvae, which we call American Farm AFB,
foul brood over in Greece. I don't know if they couldn't say American foul brood. They'd say probably Greece foul brood. But bacillus larva, I guess, is the correct thing. So now we have the honey off on the pallets. We'll take the loader now. These hives made a tremendous crop. We probably run at least 140 pounds. There'll be some hives made 200. We'll go over here and we see Bob. He's finishing 2 hives, and we'll start loading these on. You see 2 boxes there with red dots on it. Well, that's where I rented from another man. I've rented his about 200 shells from him every year for the last 5 years. So now we'll go on and start putting her on the truck. I might add, before I get started loading these on, the real work is done now. The work is taking it from the hive, which is about waist high, and coming down on the pallets, trays, which the dolly truck will go under. So the work is really done now. The loader will pick them up on the truck, and he'll take the dolly and run them up to the front. If we had to load them on the truck and then stack them on the truck, oh my, at my age 77, I'd think really consider about retiring. Gonzalez, we put a piece of pipe, we welded it on the end of a pipe to it pretty worn. That way it gives us a place to pack a bump in for our hand, or we can even have the pad on there. It's all full. They're all full. Very good here. to the bottom manhole. Okay, Marcellus, we got one side loaded. I'll get the other side, so I won't tape that one. I don't know if I got any more time, but there's some foundation that was drawn out. Put down below about 2-3 supers before they got too heavy. We're at my son-in-law's place. I have bees on him and have the precautions for disease control. Okay, here's the hive. As you see, the brood nest is marked number 4. The next super, they're all marked 4 with masking tape right on up. Every hive in the yard, the next one will be number 5 right on up. Okay, so we take the Bigo pads, take the lids off, we put on our Bigo pads, which is butyl anhydride is put on top, and that burns the bees' eyes, so the bees go down. So we're putting on about 15. There's only 22 hives in here, so then we go in rotation and put them out here on skids. And then when we get clear down to the brood nest, we make an inspection, pull out a frame of brood, and if it's clean, we're okay. In case we would hit, we call it American foul brood here. Probably over in Greece you'd call it grease foul brood. I guess the technical name is Bacillus larvae. And if we see any signs of Bacillus larvae, we immediately go back and pick up the numbers. Like there was number 4. We would put back every one back on that hive. And then later on, at the end of the season, we would take the honey off, extract it, melt down the combs, kill the hive first, and then melt all the combs down and boil them all in lye water and start over. I probably have about 6 cases this year out of close to 500 hives. And the reason I probably had that many is because I have rented supers from other beekeepers, and this year I cut most of that back. I put in a lot of foundation and started new supers of my own. So we'll turn it off and start taking honey off now. Today is the 14th day of September. I picked these hives here up with the loader. West of here, which is strictly grain farming, and so I'm bringing them over here in where you can see goldenrod here. This is scattered around right now. Bloom, and then there'll be some aster. They can make some nectar on that. And I'm filling this yard out, and next spring this location I ought to be able to make about 20 new hives from here because they winter very well. Got an old barn for a west defense from the wind and also from the north there. And we'll finish putting a couple panels here up on the east. Here's one hive that has Bacillus larvae. We will have to destroy it. And now we'll finish unloading this one and then head for another yard. Unload those 7 colonies east of here yet about 4 miles. This will give you an idea of the crop of honey that this yard produced. That's a colony, as I said a while ago, it has bacillus larvae. It will be destroyed. When we're all done, we'll take the honey off carefully so no bees rob it. Take it in, and then we'll gas that hive with a chemical called resmethrin, I believe it is. And then we'll do melt the combs down and start over. So here we are. We'll be heading out now. Okay, here Paschalis is Little White Dutch. This is a tremendous amount. Darrell had locations north, east, and west, and south of this, and each yard probably run over 200 pounds. And this is being September the 14th. We just had rains all summer, so this is great. This is really produced. Paschalis, we are in the yard of 4 colonies. The rest of the colonies were moved out for pollination on pickles and watermelons, muskmelons, and so forth. So this will be the last yard that that I'll have the first honey removed. So here we are there. You can see the this hive right here on the right had comb honey, and that's extracted light combs that was put on top. So we got 2 beautiful comb honey supers. I'm going to cut in little squares, put in boxes, and sell them. And actually, that as beautiful as it, I believe it would place in the American honey show. And then across the aisle here is 2 other hives, and that one on the left is jam full. I should have had another super on, and that's about shows what they would have made right there on the one on the right, 45 pounds, and then the others are 60 times 3, 180 times 45, makes 200 and what, 15, something like that. Okay, I'm going to mount this on the tripod, and we'll get our Bee-Go pads ready and put them on. Here in the States we have a product called Bee-Go and a product called Bee Robber. The Bee Robber is butyl anhydride. In both products are butyl anhydride is the main composition, but then the Bee Robber has had a product added to help eliminate the obnoxious odor. And so while the bottle says Bee-Go, I have Bee Robber in there. It's produced by Man Lake up in Minnesota. This is my Bee-Go pads here, and they're metal. There's the rest of them. I'll only use 4 in this yard, and we'll put them on and then get back on with this. Okay, this colony here had 2 supers of cut comb, and here I'm going to dry the bees down. You can see I put another empty super on that. I took the comb honey off, and you can see it's jammed full. And of course this here's got 1, 2, 3 deep, 60 pounds times C is 180, and that's 45. And we'll put the Bee-Go pad on. When it's real hot, the sun would go like that, kind of cattywampus, so that the bees don't get too much of it, or they won't know which way to go. So we put it on a little bit, then we'll close her up. Okay, we're over here at the other. I'm going to start taking honey off, and we'll have this yard done. Paschalis, what was really helped our hands. We've taken an ordinary hive tool, welded on a piece of pipe, so we can go in without hurting our hand as much, breaking them loose. So we'll take our first super off. This top's all full. And it's 77 Paschalis. I don't know how many more years I can do this. But we're going right down onto a little skid. We can take the dolly. We can pick up the whole load. If I didn't have that loader, I'd be quitting. There's no question. Now you see all this burr? I mean, they got a lot of burr comb on there. That hive is That box is full of honey. Both of them's got 60 pounds apiece is 100, and then the top body is another 60. That's 180 pounds. Now we'll get our top of our, it was a comb honey colony, and we'll take it off. And it's full. I had someone here to maneuver that tripod while you can see when we're setting down on the, now look at that honey. That is a mess. I'll get a close-up view of that. Wash my hands so I don't get my camcorder too messy. And we'll take a look at that honey. As you can see, the burr comb. Look at that. She is fuller than full. We are fortunate to have had a honey crop like we have this year. Okay, this looks like a little poor management. We overlooked this little yard and should have had another box on here. I'll show you this inner cover. It is jammed full. Oh man. Look at that. Just look at that. See the burr wax on the cover. We're going to have a job just cleaning the inner covers. Now I want to give this a one frame inspection. And it looks like they got this brood nest. I think it's jammed clear for, it's full for winter feed. Unless I get greedy and swipe it, which I don't think I will. Jammed up. And we had this, like I say, we should have had a super on it. Oh man. Oh, that is heavy. Now I'm looking at the drone. Uh-oh, I see a varroa mite here. That's the first one I've seen right there on the drone. So I'm gonna have to treat this and give him a check mite strip and bee fogger, the mineral oil fogger. This colony definitely has its winter feed. Before we take any honey off, we always like to give it a comb inspection. Otherwise, you can really create problems for yourself by scattering it. That looks great. Get that shut. Get our scopes here, get them down a little bit. Oh boy, this sucker is loaded. Oh man. Yep, we should have had some of that up in another shallow. Okay, now what we'll do, put the inner cover back on. Gonna be a job scraping all the inner covers. We'll put this up here so the bees can suck it dry. I don't know where they're going to take the honey. They'll have to put it down somewhere. A lot of the yards I moved, got bees, they got goldenrod out full bloom and some white aster. And of course aster, my wife always says, is a disaster because it gives the bees dysentery during the winter. If you don't get a flight, the bees die. Okay, we take the next super off. Sun's not hitting these pads the best, but hell, these are heavy. I don't want to get too many more. We're going to take the stick of honey off, and we'll swing around. The goldenrod's out in bloom, as you can see, all out through there. Good for brood rearing. Ball, and then it aster up. Lucille. Hey, you guys get over here and stand in front. All right, look up here. Look here. Okay, here. Okay. All right, get up. Okay, get on the other side there. Get up, get up. Get it over. That's good. You don't have to. You can leave him in there. Leave him in? Yeah.
Pull it back. Pull the lever back. The other way.
Hold it.
Oh, all right.
Hold it. Hold it.
All right.
Okay, let her down.
Now let her go.
Let her down. Go to the edge. I can go out through the yard myself. does that mean when I tie a rope, it self-balances, see? So we got that there, which if I let him drive the car, I got to tell him to drive very, very careful. Drive the truck. It's that control, take away the truck. Okay, so what you do is you take this home, go back to the truck. We've already gone out and hit the whole load clear back. 1 year I had one full load, 1993, one of the best crops I ever had. 1 yard come clear back here. I figured the weight, I figured I had 15 drums of sheep coming on that truck. That 1 yard. I had 60 hides on there. I had more than usual. But it's the summer, the rains are just right. Little white Dutch came all over. We didn't have little white Dutch this year. We don't have pasture, but over there, they had rain this year. Little Dutch was all back. Mary Lucille, you guys come up here. Okay, we got Annette, Shirley, Mary Lucille Lehman come over to see how the Stoller screwed around, and we just got half the yard of honey off, so we're going to have the two men that's helping kick it on in. We're going to go on. Okay, today's September 12th. Bees are pretty gentle today. I got one on the side, kind of hurt. They're working on the goldenrod, little nectar coming in, but it's all over till next year. Okay, gals, that's it for here. Thank you.
You want some tenderizer on that?